policy in your company without being able to identify the root of the problem? Are you searching for a tool to help you analyzing trends regarding working hours of your employee without spending too much time on it? If yes, you're at the right place today. I'm Émilie Lecoq, business analyst and HR expert at Odoo, and today I will present you the app Attendance and how it will help you to keep track of the attendances of your employee, to identify easily and quickly trends regarding it, and to have a more accurate payroll. All of this with one simple tool that will make you save so much time. In today's agenda, we will start first with a quick introduction, followed by the reasons why attendance is a must-have for your business. We will then go through all the new features of version 17, because I guess this is why you're here. And we will end with a quick conclusion before I let you enjoy the evening. Attendance monitoring is not just about tracking who's there and who's not. It's also about identifying trends and patterns that can help businesses to improve their operation. What I would like to insist on today is the added value of using attendance in your business and how Odoo can help you to achieve that goal. You've probably already experienced a reaction of your employee regarding that kind of system, but as you may also already know, it's really important for your business to work efficiently, and this is partly linked to the level of commitment of your employee regarding their and through their working hours. This is then a needed feature. But why is attendance that important? We have multiple reasons, but we will start first with the employer one. So thanks to attendance and the fact to monitoring the attendances of your employee, you will be able to analyze and identify trends. For example, you could see where the level of productivity could be increased, but you could also evaluate the commitment of your employee. It will also help you to analyze tiredness, punctuality, and so on. With that in mind, it will then be easier for you to plan measures contributing to the employee's well-being. Also, you better keep an eye on the extra hours worked by your employee to avoid either unjustified overtime that could lead later on to health issues, for example, but also if you want to congratulate or to motivate your employee to keep working a bit more. Plus, following up on absenteeism is also really important as it can generate extra costs for your company. For example, if you have to hire temporary replacements or to pay the due salary. And last but not least, in some industries and countries, there are specific labor law and regulation regarding the working hours, the leave policy, the breaks, and so on. By tracking the attendances, you will then avoid legal issues. But that's not all, because you also have advantages for the employee. In fact, it can assure fairness, it helps to keep the work-life balance, and it contributes, as I said earlier, to a more accurate payroll. Also, it's good for your employee to keep track of their extra hours to evaluate their own level of commitment. Okay, you know now how important is it for your business to keep track. Oops. Is it normal? Okay, perfect. So you know how important is it for your business to check the attendances, but I will show you now how Odoo can help you and how it will make your life easier thanks to the new enhancements of version 17. So first question you can ask yourself is, how can my employee check in and check out? Depending on your business, there are multiple options. If you work, for example, in a company in which there is at the entrance of the building an iPad or a tablet, or if you work with workers on a construction site, then the kiosk mode is made for you. What is the kiosk mode? So it's a place where your employee could check in and check out, and then the data will be entered in the system without having any access, any user's access. In the kiosk mode that I will show you after, you have three different possibilities. So either your employee can check in and out with a badge and a barcode, or you can use the RFID system with a reader and a tag, and you can even check in manually. I will show you how it looks like in Odoo. So I enter now the database. I will go to the attendance app, open here the kiosk mode, and as you can see, oops, let me plug in. So imagine it's Monday morning, Abigail arrived at the office and she wants to check in. Perfect. As you can see, you have all the information displayed on the screen. So you have the hours at which she arrived. Welcome, Abigail. I will then use the RFID system. So just with the reader here, I check. So Anita is there as well. And imagine Audrey arrived, and as usual, she has forgotten her badge. But no worries, because she can still identify manually by clicking here. You can see that you have all the employees here. You can just select her name, and you can even add a PIN code for more security to avoid people to check in and out for other employees. Perfect. So you just saw the three way of checking in and out. One of the biggest change of version 17 is the user-free kiosk mode. What does it mean? That when you open the kiosk mode, as I just did, it generates a private URL. So if I show you here, if I try to connect to the database and go back to the dashboard, you can see that I have to log in again. So what does it mean? That no one can access the database from the kiosk mode, so there is more security and more data protection. If I log in again, perfect. It's not the last way, the last possibility to check in, because also one of the biggest change here is the Sistre mode. So if your employee are users of the database, and so they are using Odoo on a daily life, they can just connect here thanks to the small dot here, the green dot. So when I arrived this morning, I checked in. This is why it's already there. So you can see that I'm here for almost 7 hours. So this is the possibilities for your employee to check in directly in the database, just by clicking on these little dots. They will also see the extra hours and the amount of time they worked. Perfect. Now that you know how you can check in and check out, let's enter the app attendance to show you how it looks like. Okay, amazing. Here you can see that we have the Gantt view. You probably already know this view, but it wasn't existing before in the attendance app. So you have many information displayed on the screen. By default, you will always have all the employee by day. But you could also select week, months, or even year if you want. And there are many colors indicating you different information. For example, the green colors is showing you all the employees that are actually working. So I just did the check-in for Abigail, Anita, and Audrey. This is why it appears in green. And me, I arrived this morning, so you can see in green that I'm here. If you want to know which employee are currently working, you can even filter here on at work, and it will display all the person currently working. Depending also on the red. So the red color is giving you two information. Either it's for the person who has worked more than 16 hours. It's the case for Jeffrey, for example. You can see that he worked 18 hours, which is probably a mistake. And keys appear in red as well, because he probably checked in yesterday. If we go to the day before, yes, we can see here that he checked in, but he forgot to check out. So the system will give you all the errors that appear, and so you can filter as well on this to maybe fix it. Also, a really useful thing is that you can drag and drop all the attendances from here. You can extend the hours as you wish. And as you can see, the extra hours here are displayed. So in gray, you will see the person who has checked in and out. So those persons are not at work currently. And in light gray, you will see the extra hours. So for example, here, for Eli, we can see that he worked 2 hours more than what he was supposed to. You also have the information here on the left side of the screen. Of course, what I can see here and what I can do is because I have the access as a manager. No one is, as an employee, you cannot like change your attendances like I'm doing right now. It's because I'm the manager. Depending on the working schedule that is planned in the contract of the employee, the lunch break will also be taken into account or not. So for example, you can see that here, I extended a bit, but for Doris Cole, she worked 8 hours that day, but she didn't take a break. Such as Ernest, who did take a break during the lunch, but he also worked 8 hours. It's because in the working schedule, the lunch break is defined, and then the system won't take into account the fact that she worked during the lunch break. So there is no risk for the employee to have extra hours recorded if he just maybe forgot to check in and out during the lunch break. imagine it's the end of the week, you want to have a quick overview on the attendances of the week, then it's really easy. You can just select here week. I will go to the previous one to have a complete one. And with the colors, you will have all the information about the attendances of your employee. For example, in red here, it's all the person who did more extra hours who did extra hours, so they worked more than what they were supposed to. Abigail, for example, worked 2 hours more. In green, it's the person who worked the correct amount of time. So Anita worked 40 hours of 40 hours. And if someone worked less than what was planned, it will appear like this. So you can see that the block is not fully green. So you can, by leaving the mouse here, you can also see how many hours are missing. Okay, perfect. So it was the Gantt view, which gives you a quick and a clear overview on everything. But let's go to see the list view that you already had before, but we also made a lot of adjustment on that view. So if I filter on my attendance, you have many new information here. For example, you can see the mode that was used to check in. As Michelle, I checked in with the System mode. This is why it appears like this. You even have the IP address, the browsers that has been used to check in and out, and the localization. So you have the exact GPS coordinate. So if I click View on Maps, you can see that we are in Palais 10, yes. So this is really useful, for example, if you work with consultant and you want to track to which client they went or any other solution, any other visit. Okay, perfect. Another thing that you may have noticed is the chatter. So you already probably know the chatter because it already exists in other applications, but here it's new in attendance. So it will give you all the history of the modification, as you can see. So you can see that we changed a bit the attendance for yesterday. And you can even log a note or send a message. For example, here, Mark asked me if everything was fine with my attendance because I stay later in the evening. And so I was able, just by logging a note, to answer him that I just took a longer lunch break, and this is why I stayed later in the evening. So this is really useful to keep track of everything, all the modification, all the adjustments that were made. Okay, let's discover now the reporting menu. So you probably already know that menu, as it's also existing in other apps. But as in every report menu, you can play with the filters, you can play with the measures, you can insert in a spreadsheet, display in different type of graph. By default, you will always have the last 3 months of attendances for all the employees. But imagine it's the end of the year right now. You know that at that time of the year, the workload is quite high, and you want to keep track of the extra hours that your employee did. For that, it's really easy. I will remove this filter, select overtime here. I will filter on, we will check the month of October as it was a full one. So directly I have 2023, group by employee. And you can see that the system will automatically propose you to compare with the previous year or another previous period. So here I will select previous year because I want to be able to compare the 2022 with 2023. And it gives you that pretty clear graph, so you can directly see quite fast that during the month of October 2023, your employees all worked like quite a huge amount of extra hours. So it gives you a clue of maybe, as I said earlier, the measures that you could plan to either motivate them or either warn them to maybe work less the month of November. So no need to analyze like manually an Excel and to print your Excel to check all the extra hours and all other measures. In only few clicks, Odoo is giving you all the information that you would need. Okay, perfect. If we go back here, one of another features and adjustment that was made is the access right. So you probably know that usually in all the application you can select the access right of your of the users of the database. Here you have the possibilities to be the administrator, so it means that you will have access to all the attendances of your employee, as I just had before when I showed you the Gantt view. So you will be able to select, to modify, to cancel, and to do whatever you want with the attendances. Or you could select no access at all, but it doesn't mean that the person won't have access to the attendance app. He will still see the attendance, like his own attendances. Of course, he won't be able to change his own attendances, but he could also be, as you can see here on the right side of the screen, the approvers of someone. So for example, Mark Dimo is working as an employee, but he is the manager of, let's say, Abigail. So if you give him no access, like on those lines, but in the employees forum of Abigail you specify that he is the manager, then he will be able to see the attendance of Abigail and change it, modifying. So if some of the person are manager of someone, they can still like adjust a bit, even if they have no access in the access right. Cherry on the cake, of course, attendance is integrated with other apps, such as, for example, the work entries and the payroll app. So if you want, for example, to link the attendances with the working schedule, it's possible. You can define it in the system, and then in the work entries, it will be automatically, the system will automatically compute the extra hours depending on the working schedule. So as you can see here, all the blue parts are the extra hours done by the employee. So the system will tell you directly where it was worked. Okay, so let's sum up. Here are all the new features of version 17. As you can see, we have quite a lot. So you have the user-free kiosk mode, which is more safe. The Gantt view, which gives you a better overview of all the attendances. The access right, who has been a bit readjusted. The geolocalization with the log IP and the browser, the reporting, which is more precise, and the system mode that you saw earlier. In conclusion, attendance is a must-have in terms of a tool to follow up on your employee and their working hours. It gives you a good overview, it highlights trends, it helps with the reporting and the analyzing, it makes you save time, and it's super user-friendly. So no more hours wasted on analyzing manually all the in-outs of your employees. You can just do it like with few clicks, having a quick and clear overview of everything. What does it mean then? That you will have more time to focus on your business. You now have everything on hand to start using this app and make your business becoming a success. Thank you for attending this attendance presentation. And do not hesitate tomorrow for the last day to join us at the HR booth to ask any question you want. And it's time now for the question. So I let you scan the QR code here, or maybe to write down the pad. So I will try to answer as best as I can.
Okay, so thank you very much, Amélie, and congratulations for this talk. We've got some questions in the pad, so I believe you still have some few minutes to answer them.
Of course.
Let's have a look together. So the first question we have is, what happens if my employee works during its lunchtime when he shouldn't? So I believe you've explained a little bit this, but can you maybe re-explain what happens?
Okay, you mean with the working schedule? Is it about the working schedule?
Yeah, so the question is, what happens if my employee works during its lunchtime when he shouldn't? So in the working schedule, indeed, we have the lunch break.
Yes, so either you could like change a bit the working schedule. So as I said, in the employee application, you can define the working schedule. So for now, we just, if I show you, I think I have it. The working schedule. You have the lunch break here.
Yeah,
is it
indeed.
correct?
Okay.
So you can just like remove it. For example, if you want your employee to be paid or the extra hours computed during the lunch break, you can just remove the break here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the...
And that's new, I guess, from this version.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Now there is another question. How can an employee choose the reason for clocking out from the kiosk? Is that even possible? I mean, they are explaining if they need to, if they are sick, they have a dentist appointment. Would that be possible to add a reason when you check out in the kiosk mode?
I don't think, no, it's not possible. So the only thing you can define is the way the employee will check in. So in the employees form, you can just go here, HR settings. So here
Oh, yeah, okay.
you can define if he will use a badge with the number. You can add the PIN code, but there is no possibility to add a reason of why why he was late. But for that you have the chatter, so you could still, for example, if it's a user of the database, you could still leave a message and log that employee in the system, and so he will be able to answer you and explain why he was late. Or so this is maybe the way of explaining why.
Indeed, yes. Okay, thank you. We've got a question, let me check. You talked about consultants. Can you have multiple localizations in one day?
Yes, every time you check in, it will take the GPS coordinate. So each different place will give you a different GPS coordinate, and then you will be able to see where it is, where the employee worked.
Then we've got the question: is there an integration between timesheets and attendance?
We have one possibilities. Let me show you. If you go to the timesheet app,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In the reporting, you have the comparison between timesheet and attendance. So the system will calculate automatically the difference between the attendance and the timesheet. So this is
nice.
One of the first integration we have, yes, in the new version.
Okay, thanks. We have some people typing here, some extra question. Let me see also the ones maybe I missed. We've got a question about how can you automatically subtract the mandatory lunch hours from an employee's daily shift. We already answered that one, I guess?
Yes, this is the thing I showed on the working schedule. You can just remove the lunch break in the details of the day.
Okay. Is there a way to handle guests who visit the company that need to clock in? Okay, it can happen sometime that you've got visitors at the entrance of the building and you would like them to be able somehow to announce their presence, let's say. Is that possible from the attendance application?
But I think it could, but it's not possible if the employee is not, if the person is not registered in the database. Because here, when I checked in with the barcode, for example, it's because I registered a barcode previously in the employee's form. So if it's someone completely unknown of the company, then it won't be possible to check in the system.
Yeah, okay, thanks. We've also got a new application which is Front Desk, who does visitor management as well. So if you missed the talk, maybe just go watch it on YouTube. Let's see if we have other questions here. What if extra hours is really a topic today. So we've got also another question. What if I want the extra hours to be computed if I don't take a lunch break?
Okay, so yeah, it's also it's the same as I answered first. So you just have to remove the lunch break from the working schedule, and in this situation, then the extra hours will be computed automatically. So it's just a matter of changing the working schedule. Okay,
another one. Does Odoo calculate extra hours on public holidays?
There is if for example an employee register a time off for a day, let's say that today I was supposed to be on holiday and I still checked in, then the system will display the hours of today in gray light. So the gray light is the light gray, is the extra hours. So yes, it's possible. The system will automatically display it as extra hours if the person was supposed to be on holiday that day.
Yeah, indeed. Because if you are not supposed to work and you still register somewhere,
yes,
probably it's
extra hours
to be counted as extra hours. Thank you very much. Let me check. Did I miss one question? If I did, please add extra question marks so I can see it very easily. Is there flexibility in the daily working schedule for the system to compute the extra hours?
So yes, this is something I didn't talk about today, but there is what we call the tolerance zone. So it means that you can define in favor of the employee or the employer how many hours or minutes can be in favor. So for example, let's say that Abigail arrived instead of 9, she arrived at 8:30. If you define a tolerance zone of 30 minutes, it means that she won't have extra hours counted for the 30 minutes she will work more. But on the opposite side, if it's in the favor of the employee, you could specify that there is 30 minutes, and then if she arrives at 9:30 instead of 9, then she won't be late. So there is flexibility in the working schedule defined.
Since we've got some time and I don't see any other question for now, maybe you can show us where to set that up.
So if you go to the attendance app in the configuration.
Okay, that's from there.
Yes, you have the extra hour here, and you can see tolerance time. So either in favor of the company or of the employee. You don't have to choose between company or employee. You can define a tolerance zone for both of them.
Okay. So thank you very much. I don't know. I think we are done with the questions. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And great job. Thank you, Emily.